3D Rose in a Glass Case from Beauty and the Beast Gel Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be doing number 2 of my Beauty and the Beast little mini-series for the new movie that's coming out soon. And so for this one it's going to be the rose that's in the glass case. And actually the rose itself isn't 3D, it's just painted. And the reason I didn't do it three-dimensional is because once it's inside the case you really wouldn't have been able to tell all of that much, so it works out pretty well just to paint it. It's quicker, it's easier, it's simpler if you like to hand paint. It could also be 3D, but you'd want to keep it on the flatter side if you were going to go that route. And so this nail is all gel and paint. There is no acrylic in this whatsoever, and so that is something that I'm trying to get into a little bit more and incorporate more gel into my videos, so I hope you like that. And don't forget to click subscribe to my future Beauty and the Beast video and my other videos as well. So to begin with, I'm going to start with a dark layer of purple gel, or a layer of dark purple gel. It really works either way. Anyways, so just a thin layer of that just to get the color on this. This isn't for strength or anything like that, just for the color. If you were doing this on a natural nail, put a clear or a enhancement base gel underneath this just to really help with adhesion. Since this is just on a tip, I'm not gonna worry about that stuff and I'm just gonna skip it. So there's that first layer. After that's on there, cure it. Mine cures without a tacky layer, so I'm gonna go ahead and then burnish in some really pretty blue to purple chameleon gel or chameleon powder that I have. Just really rub that in. After that's on there, then I'm going to just remove the dust with a little lint-free towel, just to make sure that there's not extra on there, and then I'm going to encase it with some clear builder gel. The reason I did the chameleon powder underneath the clear is because that's really going to make sure it does not wear off, because if you've used chrome or chameleon or mermaid or duochrome or any of those wonderful, amazing, gorgeous powders, you know that they have a tendency to wear off. So if you do this and then you put that really thick layer of builder gel on top of it to encase it and just to add the nail strength and all of that, you're really going to have no trouble with it wearing off whatsoever. So that's why I did it that way. So now I'm just building my apex, making sure the nail's gonna be nice and strong and durable. And after I have that as I like it, flip it over for a couple seconds. That's really gonna help get that nice soft curve to your apex. Throw that into your lamp and cure. And now I'm going to be removing the tacky layer with some isopropyl alcohol on a lint-free towel. And now I will file it, starting with a 180 grit file, just to make sure that shape is perfect. Again, I'm still trying to figure out gel. I just recently started using it after a long time of only working with acrylic, so it's kind of got a learning curve for me. So I'm definitely going to need to file this with a 180 grit file and then buff it with a 240 grit padded buffer just to remove any scratches. That is especially important since I'm going to be doing some hand painting. And so now I'm going to be doing that hand painting that I mentioned. So I'm going to start by doing my rose with red. And I have an idea of how big I want the glass case to be, and I know that I need to keep my rose within that size. So I really wanted to focus on the blossom. So I did that nice big red rose that's open, and then it's a really small stem. Once it's inside the case, you can't tell that the proportions are a little wacky. It just looks like a red rose inside. And I wanted the iconic red rose blossom to be the most visible thing that you saw. So I just shrunk down the leaf and the stem a little bit than it would have been in the actual glass case, just so that it would fit proportionally nice on the nail within the case. So then I added the stem with green, and then going back to red, I'm going to add just a couple little fallen petals that are around the base of the stem, and then just make sure that the blossom itself is nice and opaque with that bright red color. And so now I'm going to take some black paint and go through and just do some half outlines. So I first went through and added a shadow under each of those fallen petals, then just a little bit of some outlining and shading and shadowing on the leaf and then that stem. So just go through and I added the very slightest little line to add the center vein on the leaf. And then I'm going to be going through and outlining the rose petals. Very simple, quick outlines. I didn't spend much time painting this at all, simply because once it's inside the glass case, if you added a whole bunch of detail, it'd be lost anyway, so there's no point in focusing your time there. It'd make more sense to really make sure that your case looks nice and smooth and glassy. So that's where I went with that. And now I'm going to be applying a layer of some matte gel top coat on top of that. So just apply that nice and thin and evenly, cure it, take it out to remove the tacky layer on that as well, if yours has one. And so once that's good, you can put that aside and start working on the little dome glass case for it. So this is a eyedropper from an essential oil, and so I'm just going to be painting some clear builder gel on one half of it. So this is just going around the edge of it, and you don't want to go like all the way around at 360, because then it's not going to go over the top of the rose, it's just going to sit on the nail. So you want to go, just like I said, around half of it, and also go around half the curved side. so that it has that nice curve on it. Once you have that, just kind of keep working on that so that you have it in place and have it a nice even layer of this builder gel. And then you can put that into your lamp to cure it. And since it's not like if you've ever done a water globe or a snow globe nail, you know that it goes all the way around and they have to turn it in the lamp. This doesn't, so you don't have to do that. And then take that out and then apply a layer of gel sealer over the top of it and cure it again. That way there's just no tacky layer and that part's done. You're good to move on. And then after that's cured, you can go ahead and pinch the eyedropper and it should come right off. Then I'm going to be flipping that over and I'm going to be painting the inside of it with some gel sealer as well. I had to open my gel sealer, so I set down that little glass piece for a second so that I'm going to be painting that gel sealer really thin layer so that it doesn't pool anywhere. And then you're going to put that into your lamp once again. So this is a lot of curing, which is why I normally don't do gel. And then on a nail form backing, I'm going to be painting a half circle with some more of that clear builder gel that's about the same size as the opening or the end of that little glass dome. Setting that on there, and it should stand on itself, and then you can cure that another time, take it out, and this time I decided that I wasn't going to cure it again. I was done with that, so I just removed the tacky layer with some isopropyl on a lint-free towel because my patience had worn thin and I was just really had enough of curing stuff. So then I just really carefully filed the edge of it because where that little end piece was added, it was not perfect. You know, the half circle was a little bit too big, which is better than having it be a little too small, but if that's the case, you do have to file to get rid of any loose edges. And then I also just filed the other edge of my dome just to make sure that it looked right. And then once you have that on there, you can then paint just a little bit of that clear builder gel above and below the rows so that you can set your little glass case on top of it so that it'll just temporarily hold it in place so that you can work on doing the rest of it. So after that's cured so that it's really stuck down, go ahead and fill in the gaps going around the glass case with some more clear builder gel. Now I was really conscientious when I was making the dome to make sure that it would fit with as few gaps as possible. Now that's a little hard to do because you have to predict the curvature of a nail, which doesn't always go the way you plan. And if that's the case, I would recommend taking an e-file and then just setting your dome on there to see where you need to carve away and then take off a little bit so that there was less of these gaps to fill if, you know, you wanted to do that, because it takes a little while because you can't do all the gaps once with gel because it cures. So then I'm going to be adding the little handle that's on top of the glass case with a couple little bits of that clear gel, and I'm going to add one more to that very top ball just so that sticks out a little bit more than the area around it. Cure it again, remove the tacky layer off that clear builder gel, which is what I pretty much use for all of the clear parts here. So I'm just going to remove any tacky layer that's remaining and then highlight the glass dome. So with a couple little white lines on that top piece and then a white line on the dome itself, just one down the side, just as a nice really bright highlight on there, and then apply yet another layer of gel sealer and cure this for the final time. And if you have an impatience with curing things, you will be so glad that this is the end. It'll be like, thank goodness I'm done curing stuff, woohoo. So I hope you like this design, and please share any recreations with me on Facebook and Instagram. I would absolutely love to see them, and check the description box below for the bell and the beast nails. I will put those links in there when they're available, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.